is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
And Steve, you know, I can have some fun and we can have the sports discussion and debate and go back and forth whether we think Tua can play or not at this level, right? That one we can do. No one can ever argue about the injury history. There's no debate there. None. The injuries he's had already here in an incredible, not even in one calendar season of games, because he has yet to play 16 games. He hasn't even been eligible to play 16 games, and he can't play them. So I can't argue with anybody that says that after everything that happened in Alabama. That was the only reason why I would have never drafted him, is because of that. I still believe he can be a player in this league. I still believe he can be a hell of a player in this league. But it takes the right coaching. This is where I give the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh and that organization all the credit in the world, because if you draft Lamar Jackson and then you try to make him a passer, you're a moron, because he'll never be a passer. That's not who he is. But they have totally committed to who he is. And they design everything to complement what he can do. And he does it at an incredibly elite level. He'll never be an elite passer because he just doesn't have the accuracy for that. But because he's an elite athlete, they committed to what he can do best, which is run. And then the pass comes off that run. And so he'll make some passes and he'll make some plays because he's a great athlete. But you have to be committed. Now, if you got Lamar and then you started to try to force the square peg in the round hole and try to make him throw all the routes from the tree, from the 3, from the 5, from the 7-step drop, all that, then you would have been wasting your time. And he would have been a failed pick. But because they have committed this way, it's important. And if you draft Drew Brees, or if you draft Kyler Murray, or if you draft, when you draft certain quarterbacks that have a certain skill set, you have to then tailor that offense to what they are. If you have Tom Brady and he's an effing statue, get him an offensive line and a running game. Because if you don't give Tom Brady an offensive line and a running game, he's dead in the water. He won't be the GOAT. He'll be the chump. That's the way it is. It doesn't matter what quarterback really you get, but it's a matter of understanding your quarterback. And then when you understand what your quarterback is, what his strengths are, then you say, okay, this works. In Tennessee, it works because you pound the crap out of them with Henry and you complement them with Ryan Tannehill and the passing game. Once you take out the main factor of the offense, which is Henry, the whole thing goes to crap because Tannehill is not the guy that can carry an offense. Never has been, never will be. That's just not who he is. But as long as you have an understanding of how to put your offense together and how each cog is going to, contribute to the machine, then it'll run beautifully. It'll run like honey, and what's it called? A little lemon warmed up for the throat. It'll run beautifully. That's kind of what it is. And that's the problem here in Miami. They drafted a quarterback that they don't understand, that they don't know how to complement, that they failed to put the proper pieces around him in order to be successful. And that's just not players. It's also coaching. You must have Arthur Smith, designing the plays for you so you can run the offense that you want in Tennessee. Now he's in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan's the NFL Player of the Week this week, Offensive Player of the Week. And obviously, he's done a much better job there than the prior coach in designing that offense. When you have Bill Walsh, he's going to understand a Joe Montana and he's going to understand a Steve Young, two different quarterbacks, both great, but different styles of play. So you've got to then complement them the proper way. You've got Cliff Kingsbury, who specifically wanted Kyler Murray because he has the offense that Kyler fits and can excel at. That's what it's all about. It's about understanding your talent and then complementing your talent, because Sean Payton understands. I have Drew Brees. He's not a strong arm quarterback. He's not a big quarterback. So what do I have to make sure? I have to make sure the pocket never crumbles. So what am I going to do? I'm always going to invest heavily in my center and my guards. And that's what he always did. The center and the guards for the New Orleans Saints in front of Drew Brees were always exceptional players, like 90% of the time. Of course, you can't hit them all the time. There were a couple seasons where maybe they had a couple of rough spots, but overall, they found centers and guards that were always there ready to give Drew Brees an absolute wall so he can find his man and step into the pocket and always be able to throw. Because he knew that if he didn't have the running game and a pass catching back and the line, there was no way he could run his offense. So it's really all about understanding. And that's what the Dolphins have done. They've done a piss poor job of understanding what they drafted and how they were supposed to complement him. And it's been such an embarrassing way they've gone about it, that they have put themselves in a position that they've been in for a long, long time. Failures. Failures because you have no vision. And when you don't have no vision, this is what ends up happening. So that, to me, coming tomorrow night, watching this game, that's one of the things that I will always compliment the Baltimore Ravens. The conviction they have shown to force this to work. And eventually it's going to break down because the kid is taking so many hits, and again, he'll never be a great passer. So he'll never be able to make a living from the pocket. This is the only way Lamar Jackson can play. I'm shocked it's lasted this long. Okay? I am shocked. I am shocked that we haven't seen a Haloti Ngata RG3 moment in Lamar Jackson's career already. But it shows you how fast, how elusive, how his instincts have allowed him and have given him the power to avoid that Haloti Ngata hit. He's taken some hits. He's had to miss a couple games. He's, it's going to build on him because it just doesn't matter, dude. You could be Cam Newton. You could be Big Ben. You could be Tim Tebow. I've seen the biggest of men in this game, and they all get broken in half by this game because it's only a matter of time. There's only so many hits you can take. You know what I mean? And he's not Big Ben where he can buy time in the pocket and be a passer from there. So he will have to use his legs, and eventually it'll give in. But I got to tell you, Baltimore's conviction needs to be commended because that is super strong.